So the tools that we use today cost about $350 total. The clippers that we used are the Andis clippers. You can find something cheaper, but these will last a long time as long as they don't get dropped. I had a pair of these that lasted me over 7 years, and I groom a lot. Another thing is the 4FC blade. You can get something cheaper, but I like this one. It's a bit thicker than the one that comes with the clippers, and it looks a little bit better, and it's less likely to get too close to the skin where it will make them itchy. We also use the blow dryer. This one was about a $79 blow dryer. I'll put a link in the description below. Then we have our slicker brush that we used, along with a scissor set and comb that came with the scissor set. The scissor set has the blending scissors that look like this, the shaping scissors that look like this, and the regular scissors that just look like the normal scissors, along with a comb that you can use to go through the face and anything that you're going to keep a little bit longer. Then I recommend going through with the comb. So that is everything that we used today, right there, to do her summer groom. Hey guys, today we are going to do a summer groom. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are going to do a beginner's guide on a summer cut for a doodle or a Bernedoodle. We have here with us today a Bernedoodle named Ruth. She is an F1B, so she is very small. We have a few tips that I wanted to go over before we get started. The first tip is when you're grooming your dog, make sure that you are doing the sanitary areas first. That way your blade doesn't get hot and burn them. Another tip, when you're blow drying, use a towel to blow dry the head and blow dry the head last so that you're not having that dryer on their face for a prolonged period of time. And then the third tip is to set a timer and try to get faster each time. If you are taking hours and hours and hours to get your dog groomed, they are eventually going to hate it. That's not something we want to do. We want them to have a good experience. So we want to try and keep it under 2 hours for everything. If we can't do that, I would recommend just taking your dog to the groomer. You don't want your dog to hate being groomed, especially if you do end up taking them to a groomer. You don't want them to not want to take your dog. Okay, so now that she is bathed and blow dried, we need to make sure that she is completely brushed out. It will make it a lot easier when we go through to clip her. Again, this is our summer cut. I'm gonna cringe a little as we go through this, but For her comfort, we're going to use a 4FC blade, and then we have our Ultra Edge andis clippers. This is her first time ever being groomed, so when you're grooming your dog, I would try and teach them to stand up. And the way we're going to do that is if they sit down, I'm just going to gently help her stand back up, and then we can get started. And that way, every time you groom her, it should get easier and easier because she'll know what's expected. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the clippers and we're going to go from about her shoulder blades and just all the way down to the tail. And that's normal for them to be a little bit nervous at first. This is obviously her very first time getting groomed. I'm not going to expect her to be perfect, but I'm also not going to let her get away with running off or doing something else. Good girl. Good girl. After we get our baseline on her back, then I'm going to go down in a downward motion. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Yeah. On her legs, I'm still going to leave a little bit, just barely in there. And then again up here on her shoulders, I'm going to just kind of try and taper it off more than get it all the way off. And don't worry about it being uneven at this point. And if you don't like the cut, it will always grow back. So don't kick yourself too hard, even though it's pretty sad to see all this hair gone. Good girl. Good girl. You're doing so good. So from her shoulder blades to the back of her ears, I'm going to be very careful not to get it all the way down. I want to just blend it in. If I'm not feeling confident, then I would just use scissors. I think she's doing pretty well, so I'm going to go ahead and try with the clippers. Good girl. Even on a summer cut, I'm not going to use blades on her face. I am going to use scissors. That way I have a better chance at getting a better cut. I don't like the shaved look. Even the summer cut is too short for what I like, but for comfort, then we are going to go with that shorter cut. So now that we have the outline of what we want with the clippers, then I'm going to go in with my scissors. And for now, I'm going to use the regular scissors here, and I'm just going to go in. First, I will start with her eyes, and we're going to go from the corner of her eye to the corner of her eye. Good girl. And I'm just going to take the corner off. I'm going to use the blending scissors for the full line. Good girl. Good punch. And don't worry if your edges are noticeable right now. We will go in with blending scissors in a minute and we will just blend it all in. And if you notice, I'm switching legs off. I don't want to hold one leg too long. I don't want her to have a bad experience. This is her first time, and she's doing really good for her first time, so I'm not going to ruin that by forcing her to hold still or really give me exactly what I want right now. When it comes to the tail, I am not going to really do much of anything rather than blend it in a little bit better at the top. If it was a little bit longer, then I would kind of trim it to make it all look the same length, but it's kind of short, so we're going to just leave it. Good girl. Sit down. So now I have my curved scissors. I'm going to go in on her head, just good girl. So now I'm going to go in with my blending scissors here. And I'm going to go through really everything and just blend it all in. I will usually leave the eyebrows alone unless it looks horrible, but I like to see them, so I will just kind of leave them and not really cut them unless it looks horrible. So her hair right here just kind of comes up naturally, and I don't like the messy look, so I'm going to take a little bit off here, but be careful when taking off on the face. You can take a lot off quickly, and you want to just get the minimal amount off if we can. All right, so that is about it. I am going to go through and brush her out and blow dry her one more time, and then I can see if I missed anything. But I will take pictures and show the before and after pictures. Thank you for watching.